This sode would not be possible without the support of our listeners, patrons, and sponsors. If you'd like to learn more about supporting the 3-Bit Gamer Show, check us out on Patreon at patreon.com/3BG. And a huge thanks goes out to our boss-level patrons, Christopher and Patrick.
One is the loneliest number that you'll ever do. Two can be as bad as one. It's the loneliest number since the number one.
This is Hanzo. Welcome to the 3-Bit Gamer Show.
It's the 2-Bit Gamer Show. I'm JD.
This is Peterson.
And I am JD Sweat.
Dude.
You guys
Bravo.
You probably didn't hear the whole thing. Hopefully Peterson edited a considerable amount of it.
That will happen.
If you want to hear me karaoke the entirety of Three Dog Nights, One is the Loneliest Number, you will have to check us out on Patreon.
He did sing the whole thing, too.
It's a mess.
So, real quick, JD told me this is what he wanted to do, and I was like, okay, where do you want to cut it off? And he's like, I kind of had this thought, like I would just sing the whole thing, and people would like forward it through and be like, is he still going?
He's going to do the whole fucking song? Like, are you serious?
You can't do the whole song, JD. But you do it anyway.
Look, guys, you need to buckle up because there's only two of us here today.
There is nobody stopping any of this.
There's usually like a third party that's like, we feel guilty or like kind of embarrassed to say certain things in front of or do certain
really
things
just
in front
be
of
ourselves is what we're saying.
But you are getting raw, unfiltered JD and Peterson now. We're not biting our tongues over anything. We're singing karaoke the whole episode.
There is going to be so much singing.
I don't know how this show became so much about singing and karaoke. That's just where we're at now.
Kudos, I'm yours.
I'm yours.
I wanted to sing that whole thing, and I was laughing. I could not.
I'll just play it again. Don't worry. Here we go. Teasing. Kudos, I'm yours. Oh, which are you want to try it a third time? Guys, buckle up. This is what the whole episode's going to be like. I'm so hot. We overcorrected on the heat. What do you mean I can't take off my sweater? I'm hot. Peterson, tell us your kudos before it goes too far off the rails.
Okay, so kudos is our regular segment we like to start off with. It's our positivity segment to start the episode off on a good note. So my kudos, I've got a couple. One of them...
Mr. Rogers drunk.
What's happening?
Well, what do you mean I can't take off my sweater? I'm hot!
Prediction, at least one of us will not be wearing a shirt by the end of the episode.
Hot. Okay,
so my first kudos goes to Cinnamon Coke. Did you know this was a thing?
No.
So here's the thing. Let me clarify what my kudos is. Because my wife went and bought a case of Cinnamon Coke because she's like, this looks interesting.
That's aggressive.
Yeah.
Not just like a 20 ounce, but like
not just like a bottle.
You got to choke down 12 of these
12
now.
cans. And so she's like, this looks interesting. Let's try it. So she bought it. We opened one up. She took a drink and she's like, I love it. And I took a drink and I was like, I don't love it so much.
I'm ambivalent.
But my kudos, actually, here's my, I broke it down why I don't love this.
Okay. Wait, you're giving a kudos for a soda?
Wait. The kudos is for the company trying new things. That's what the
every
kudos
time.
Is. It's just wonderful.
Yes.
Look, even if I don't like it, I don't care. I want them to keep doing stuff. Throw out a Cinnamon Coke. I don't care. Someone's going to like it. My wife loves it. She bought another case.
Yeah.
But for me, it's that, you know, when you have a glass of clear liquid and you're like, oh, that's water, and you take a drink and it's Sprite and it's jarring for a second, or vice versa.
Sure.
You think it's Sprite and you're like, oh, that's water, and it's jarring. That's how it is every sip for me, because it's like, oh, it's Coke, and you're like, that's really cinnamony.
How spicy is it? It's like pretty spicy.
It's not spicy. It's like, it tastes Christmassy. I don't know how else to put it. It's like it's not unpleasant.
Sounds like it'd be great with a scoop of vanilla ice cream.
Ooh, I should try that.
Yeah, like a float.
I'll try that tonight.
Yeah.
So Cinnamon Coke, the kudos is for companies just trying.
Just try it, guys.
All this new stuff. I love it. It is honestly my favorite thing going on in the world right now.
It makes me sad sometimes when they roll out something, I fall in love with it, then they pull it back. But it's a love lost thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
I would rather have loved and lost
than to never have
than
loved
to have
at all.
never loved at all.
I'm with you. So Cinnamon Coke, try it if you. I mean, you should at least try it. It's a great. It seriously tastes Christmassy. I don't know how else to explain it.
Yeah.
And then I watched a Netflix documentary called "Tell Me Who I Am." Have you heard of this?
No.
Oh my gosh, buckle up. Okay, so this series, it's a documentary. It's an hour and a half long, and it is extremely well done. Very, very well done. And I don't notice that sort of thing normally, and I noticed it immediately. This is phenomenal. Like, it's really well done. It is about two twin brothers, identical twins. One of them gets in a car or a motorcycle accident when they're 18.
Okay.
Wakes up, has zero memory. None. He doesn't know who his mom is. He doesn't. They say, "Oh, where do you live?" I have no idea.
Fresh start.
You live in England. He doesn't know what England is.
Yeah.
He doesn't know anything. The one thing he can kind of remember is his twin brother. He knows that that's his twin brother.
Well, I hope so.
And so from that point on, he's like, this is the one person I can trust. Because he's got a mom, and he's like, I don't love
and
this
his twin
person.
brother's good?
Yeah. His twin brother's good.
They didn't get like in a tandem motorcycle accident
No,
together at the
no,
same time? One of them wasn't in the sidecar?
They were on different parts of the country at the same moment.
Driving the same motorcycle.
Nope. And so the twin brother is, since he's the only one he trusts, he's telling them he's teaching his brother everything, telling them about their childhood. This is what happened. This is what it was like.
Mm-hmm. Hope he wasn't the evil twin.
Turns out
he's the evil twin.
No. I mean, they're both good. Turns out, though, he has fabricated a past for them. The real past is much darker. And I'll say they don't talk about it until on the documentary, the brother finally tells him everything, and it is jarring.
Sounds horrific.
It is, but you will feel so many things. You feel like, oh man, this is crazy. You feel like you can feel that these brothers had this crazy, amazing bond. Like, you feel positive things, negative things. It feels dark. It doesn't feel good sometimes. But like what you see them go through on the documentary, right? This isn't like, and then he told me about this, and then this was like, I'm going to tell you now.
I am so sorry, Heinrich. Our parents are not great. There is a reason they were living in Argentina.
It's good. Seriously, it is a very well done documentary. Like I said, it's not like a feel good story, but it is fascinating.
Okay.
And I
Tell Me
loved
Who
it.
I Am
Tell Me Who
on
I Am.
Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
Live from the 3 Bit Gamer Show. The news.
Dude, the news is good this week.
The news is good this
The
week.
news is
It's
good this
juicy.
week. Juicy, no sex scandals, no sexual harassment.
Not that we're aware of. Hold on, let me check Kotaku.
No. Close
We
it.
might have a
Close
late
it.
breaking.
Close it. I honestly, I feel good about all this news. So, I mean, and I wouldn't say good.
I feel good talking about it.
Yeah, it doesn't like give me a pit in my stomach. I'm not talking about like geopolitical issues, which mind you, may have sounded like I liked it. Do not like discussing that on this podcast. So the first bit of news, this is fucking hysterical. This is my favorite. So Fallout 76, if you guys remember, Fallout 76 was the multiplayer game that was basically cobbled together out of cut content from Fallout 4 that they are like, cool, we'll cut all this crazy these side projects that all of our devs were working on during the development of Fallout 4. We will cobble them together into an online multiplayer service called Fallout 76, which will allow you to have an online Fallout experience, which anyone that's ever played Fallout would be able to tell you instinctively is the stupidest fucking idea anyone's ever had.
Yeah,
that's crazy. It is a single-player game.
Your first thought is, wait, how's this going to work? Because one of the premium systems in Fallout is VATS, which freezes time.
Yeah. Which I'm like,
How's that work?
Forget VATS for a sec. A big part of Fallout for me is being by myself.
Yeah,
in
lonely. It feels
The Lone
empty
Wanderer
and
is the
lonely.
name. I mean, this is of one of the characters from one of these games. That I mean, people are like that's part of this is, and you populate it with a bunch of people, and you make it. You're basically like just forcing a certain kind of gameplay into a game that's not really built for it. I think people would be similarly surprised if you're like, "Hey, we know you love World of Warcraft, which is why we made a World of Warcraft Battle Royale game." People be like, I guess that could technically work.
You're like, why
But
though?
why?
Yeah.
No, none of our spells are really built to fight 100 people at the same time.
It's
just
not what you asked for. How about that? It's not what you want.
and accordingly, the game sucked. I mean, the game, I'm pretty sure won or at least was a nominee for our Blurst last year for worst launch. Blurst launch. And it's just been terrible, and it hasn't gotten better. Which is crazy.
It's
been out for, what, a year?
They did add some things that made it a little better, but the game is pretty much still the game.
That's the other thing about Fallout games is, especially Fallout games under Bethesda, are known. They are notoriously buggy. That's almost
At
part of the
launch, they're
charm.
buggy.
Honestly, like people will post like Fallout bugs, and everyone's like, "Ha ha!" Now people post Fallout bugs from Fallout 76, and everyone's like, "Wow, that makes me livid."
Yeah.
I've lost all my inventory. I've lost this, or this
Okay,
is
yeah,
completely
you
screwed up my game. You're like, "Oh, it's not fun anymore."
So they released Fallout.
So of
first.
course, no, you have to. So this game has been struggling for like a year to retain subscribers, to retain. I mean, their player numbers on Twitch are terrible, and so what do? Do they do what lots of developers do, which is like go free to play or try to attract a larger base, or do they look at their current player base as thin as it is, and they think, how can we extract more wealth from
Those
those
are the
guys?
ones.
They're the bastards.
Let's get 'em.
Get those whales. This is like
Captain
hunting.
Ahab's
this
licking
is
his
hunting.
chops.
No, this isn't Captain Ahab. This is 20 or 100 years after Captain Ahab. This is hunting endangered whales. They're not going after the whales. They're going after the endangered whales that are trying to wash themselves up on beaches to get away from it.
Oh my gosh. This is bleak.
So tell us about Fallout first.
So Fallout First is their premium service where you can pay a monthly fee of
$12.99.
or I think it's $100 a year.
Whatever, just throw $100 at
Yeah,
it.
$100, no big deal. Just give us a cool Hyundai, we'll take it.
But it has tons of stuff,
Oh,
right? They
you
fixed
guys
the
are gonna
game,
love this.
made it better.
Listen, you've been asking the whole time for private servers. Well,
Oh
guess
man,
what?
that sounds great.
We'll give you private servers. Fallout
Cool.
First.
$100 worth it.
$100 a year.
Easy. I'm in.
Not a $100 one-time payment, $100 a year. Which
No, that's fine.
I will say, in
I'm not gonna
defense,
live to the
like
end of the
there
year.
are games that exists, right? Okay, so fine, you can do a private server. People want that. Like people do private Minecraft servers for $100 a year, right? So I get it. You want
Server time costs money.
You want to play with your buddies. However.
Wait, there's a
The other-
catch?
the other-
Are you
wait.
telling me there's a catch?
The other thing is you get some special loot, but the big thing, one of the biggest things, is you have an item box
Scratch.
that it has unlimited space. You can store as much stuff
It's
in
your
this
scrap
box
box
as you want.
So if you played Fallout 4, all the building items, all the garbage you had, which you actually do want to
Oh, I
collect.
had
that's-
so much.
Yeah, and this is Fallout 76 has had a limitation on this.
Your bone basement.
Your bone basement, right? And so they're like, we'll get rid of the limitation. We'll get rid of the limitation for you, which of course makes sense. This is like we talked about it last week in our microtransaction to your game devs. They literally removed or didn't ship the game with certain functionality, and then they're like, "Oh, it's fine. We'll just add it later,
We'll add it later.
and we'll charge you
people for it.
$13 a month for it." Because honestly, if you are paying the $100 a year, you are a sucker because this won't be around in 3 months, let alone 12. And that's what they're going for, is they're going after these guys. So you got a private server and a scrap box. Why is this bad? This sounds great.
This sounds good, and then you can play with your buddies. You don't have all those other people around. Just clogging up the server, being
Yeah.
obnoxious. Just you and your buddies doing what you want.
This
in
is
the
what I
world.
wanted all along.
This sounds good, right?
Yeah.
But what happened?
So what happened is the scrap box.
The unlimited item scrap box.
So you are so stoked, you start just dump you. Well, first of all, you pull out your wallet, and then you get so stoked, and you're dumping all the items into your scrap box.
Nuts and
and then you
bolts
log
and
in the
bones.
next morning, and it's all gone.
It's all gone.
It seems spiteful at this point. It seems spiteful,
Dude.
to have bugs that are like deliberately targeting the one thing that people are paying for, and your bugs are hitting that one thing.
It's just sad. It's like super depressing. I don't know if I would be able to play the game anymore.
Oh.
If that happened, I would just be like,
Oh, well, they have some workarounds. Like,
I'm done.
did you try restarting your game? Did you try uninstalling and reinstalling it? Which, by the way, Bethesda, just a hint: don't give people that temptation to uninstall the game, because the second step they might not do.
They might just skip
They
it.
might be like, "Wow, look how much space I just cleared up on my hard drive. Thanks for the idea." But. So the scrap box didn't work out, but the private servers, they worked out great, right?
No, well. So what happened was, so in the game, you can trade items with players you meet in the world.
Sure.
To do that, though, you like add them as a friend, which is pretty common in Rocket League. It's the same way, right? You add them as a friend, then you can trade with them. Well, you don't. I mean, sometimes you trade items and then you go on your way and you don't delete this list. What if I want to trade with that guy again? Well, any of your friends on your friends list can join your server.
Just jump right in. They don't need an invite.
No invite. That means any AWipe that you happen to trade stuff with
6 months ago and you forgot about him?
disgruntled in the game, any troll, guess what? You've got a private server.
He's in.
He's
And he's in there looting all the shit that's left from your scrap box.
You and your buddies are playing the game how you
and
want to
some
play.
guy is in your house stealing all your shit.
Douchemaster 44
420, come on.
Douchemaster 420 shows up, shoots your friend, teabags him, steals your stuff, and runs away.
And you invited that. And you paid extra for it.
You paid
for that experience, and you can't even rebuild all your stuff because your scrap box is empty. I don't know.
I'm not a programmer, right?
No.
But it seems like if
It
you're going
seems-
to add like 3 features to your premium service,
One of them should work.
they
One of them should work. It's like the other thing
should at least work.
was like an outfit that was like a unique
An
outfit for this.
and there was a tent.
Imagine
you
if
could
that
set up.
outfit just like killed you in the second you put it on, just like deleted your character. Because that's like the level of egregiousness the other 2 features offer. Like, it's unbelievable. They said, obviously, this has received quite a bit of news coverage. And one of my favorite takeaways, or one of my favorite quotes, this one was to Polygon. They said, "We understand that this is not what players expected." And as Kotaku said, "We understand that this is not what players expected" is a very good motto for Fallout 76. That's been the whole game. The whole life cycle of the game
my
since day
gosh.
one is just failing expectations, setting ridiculous expectations, and then failing them. My personal conspiracy theory.
Yes.
I know you guys like to hear my conspiracy theories. So here, listen up.
Here for our third bit is Alex.
My name's Alex, and I'm here to talk about some video game bullshit that they're pumping down your ears. If you play Fallout 76, you know that game sucks. Well, let me tell you one thing. It's that they are deliberately, the bastards at Bethesda, they are trying to kill your game. This is a conspiracy, folks. Now listen up here. All they do is every single update they roll out makes the game worse, but they can't kill it because they have stockholders. So how do you kill it? You just keep making the game worse, and you make it worse, and eventually you have Fallout first, and now the game can finally die.
You have marketing managers. You have all these
Good
people
point, Alex.
that are keeping the game alive because of X, Y, or Z, and they don't want to look bad launching a game that they have to then turn around and kill. And you know what else makes you look really bad to your players is to have a Fallout title, a main Fallout. I don't care if it's a spinoff. This says Fallout on it. It's on the fucking box. Your Fallout title, right next to the headline, Fallout 76 closes servers after X months. Doesn't matter how many months it is, as long as it's not 60 months, it's going to look bad.
Yep.
And so I think they're trying to keep it online at the same time trying to kill it slow, like mercy kill it, like a dying
They're
animal.
selling off their servers to other companies who have people playing their games.
Yeah.
That's how they're making. They're like, guys, we got to free up another server.
Right.
And
they can't kill this off like a normal way, so they have to kill it. God, my throat hurts now. They have to kill it this way. So I think this is my conspiracy, my personal Alex Jones conspiracy theory. This is deliberate because this is unbelievable. This move, Fallout First, to charge more than, which we talk about almost every week on this podcast, more than the Xbox Games Pass, which, by the way, you get Fallout New Vegas and Fallout 3 or Fallout 4 or something.
Which are better Fallout
You get two
games.
Fallout games on Xbox Games Pass and every other 5,000 games for less than this is a month. I don't get it. What were you thinking? There's no rational thinking person that thinks that someone is going to commit $13 a month to this. This is at the same level, Fallout 76. You expect the same commitment as someone who plays Minecraft or Fortnite. These are those multiplayer games that people have like kind of a thing. They have a game group. Can you imagine if Fortnite came out and even charged a $1 a month per subscription? People lose their fucking shit. People lose their minds. And now imagine that subscription is broken. I don't know. We got to move on. But Fallout First, way to go.
Fallout. Just
you're gonna have it. I mean, maybe it was just like a late entry for the Blursties. They're like, hey, Fallout 76. They will be the first two-peat.
They just
for a Blurst launch because now they get to have a worse launch.
Blurst launch twice
in a row for the same game. Oh. That's Blursty's history, folks.
Wow,
that's unbelievable.
Wow,
way to go, Bethesda. We always forget what you're actually doing, which is trying to win Blursties. Another shit title.
You gotta win something.
You gotta win something. It's not gonna be best game of the year. Another crappy title. This one is hilarious. This one is super funny
to follow.
We're WWE 2020.
Yes.
That is the wrestling game. This is a very popular wrestling series that's been going for about 20 years now. There's a Japanese studio called Yuke's, and they have been developing these games since 2000. And I think they've gotten tired of it. They've grown tired of it, and they were like, "Hey, we've been working." They announced publicly that they're working on another wrestling title in conjunction with the one they're working on currently for 2K. They partner with 2K to make this game. And 2K loses their shit, pushes them away, and eventually cuts them out of the project just a couple months ago. This game just came out, and a couple months before they were like, nah, we're going to go with Visual Concepts. Visual Concepts is the studio that makes the NBA 2K games, which are garbage.
Just killing it right now.
The thing is that's what 2K wanted, is they want the same game every year with minimal dev costs, an updated roster, a feature that they can talk about at E3, just one feature, that's fine. A little bit of gambling. And that's it. They want monetization. And when Yuke's is like, hey, we're going to try something different, something new, they got scared shitless and fired them.
So good.
And so they turn it over to their NBA 2K studio, which is good. And they can't skip this title and do it next year because they have a contractual obligation to release a WWE title every year, or they lose the WWE license. So they're like, well, we have to make this.
So good.
And this game
turned out really well, right?
Yeah, maybe the best game of all time. Someone made this huge Reddit post about it, and I was like, I'll just sum this up, but it's really hard to sum up.
It's very hard to sum up.
So here's just a few of the problems, and we'll post this on our social so you guys can check it out.
Highlights.
But every single online game begins with about a minute.
This is my favorite one.
Of lag. And if you watch the clip, and there's it's 5 frames a second of this game trying to catch up to the 4 players on the server.
It looks like you're watching still images. Just moving.
Yeah. Oh, it's ungodly, and you can listen. You can just listen.
No entrances? Oh Jesus! What the? I'm still listening to Xbox theme. Holy fuck!
This is guys playing it on Twitch, and you can just hear their reactions to how comically bad it is.
It's really bad.
They didn't have the one thing you heard. They said no entrances. So typically these games, a big part of it, if you're a WWE, you're a professional wrestling fan, the entrances are huge.
They come in, there's fireworks, there's music.
You got John Cena's theme song.
They come strutting down the plank thingy or the path.
No intros, no entrances.
They're just in the ring.
There are the day one patch. This is the best. There's a day one patch, and it just didn't come out on day one.
the day one patch
wasn't out.
did not come
It
out
wasn't
on
out.
day one.
It may have come out like 12 hours after release.
So good.
But initially when the game came out, they did not have the day one patch ready. They've removed the following features from online play. They've removed these. Entrances, my career arenas. So you make an arena and it's not in the user-created arenas. The ability to edit match rules. You can't even change the match rules. Which, if you know these games, like that's part of the thing. You want to have an hour-long match with where there's like no rules. You can jump out and grab a chair and beat the shit out of people. You can set that up, and then using custom matches. So you can't do any of that online. Which, if a studio is doing this, you know it's because those things are all broken. So these are all the things essentially that are
removed.
They've removed. They're broken. The music's not even labeled correctly.
What?
Which is like a data entry thing that an intern does to make sure that the file matches up with the call to like what's the name of the file, and it calls it and it's like, oh, we don't fucking know.
Okay. This is the real easy stuff.
Yeah, this is the easy stuff. Sometimes you get multiple versions of the same wrestlers showing up instead of different wrestlers.
Nice.
Let me tell you, one of my favorite things is that it looks like, this is one thing we've really glossed over, but it's probably the biggest complaint. It looks like an N64 game. I shit you not. I'm not talking PS2. I'm not talking PS3. I'm not talking, the graphics are kind of bad. I am talking, this looks like a blocky polygon N64 game. This would blow people's minds on N64. They'd be like, whoa, it's so realistic. But, dude, it is so bad. It is, I mean, this is a litany. I read probably 4 of the 100+ items that are listed here. There's like the physics engine is screwed. The physics engine, because I'm pretty sure they just don't know what they're doing, because they're picking up another studio's work and trying to reverse engineer it.
It's like at work when someone hands me their Excel spreadsheet that they've been working with for a year,
and you click in one of the formulas.
You're like, this doesn't make any sense.
What does this color mean?
It's not how you would do it.
No.
It's 10 times worse with programming.
Oh.
They're like, I wouldn't do it this way because there's a dozen ways to do everything.
This isn't how we dribble.
Yeah.
All our characters do is run back and forth and dribble and shoot. They have 3 actions. And now you want us to
You're putting the
have them
slot
wrestle?
machine guy on the chair chair physics?
Yeah, and then 2K's fired half their developers because they're like, "Oh, we just hired a bunch of gamblers and just gave them a fistful of chips, and they work for us now." That's who develops for us.
I saw an article where it showed the guy making his character and the character customization.
Perfect.
The eyes.
That's a big issue, by the way. The character creation's an issue.
Were on his forehead, and the mouth had no lips, and so it was just like so much teeth.
You can just create monsters. Dude, I think that's hilarious.
This freaks.
It's they've answered the question when you're in a face like modifier and you move the eyes up, and then they stop eventually. They've answered the questions. What if that bar didn't stop?
Like,
what if you could just put the
just
nose wherever you want on the face? What if you could make 2 noses? Dude. You could do whatever you want. It's Spore.
It's Spore.
It's Spore, the wrestling game.
That's really what they were going for. The new feature.
They just started developing it into Spore, and the managers came over. They're like, wait, what are you doing? They're like, what are you going to do? This game has to ship in 3 weeks. It's Spore now, bitch. I am the captain now.
Can you at least limit it to 3 noses?
Look at me.
Nope, we can't put the limits in.
I am the captain now.
I am the captain now.
So Sony's been issuing refunds.
Easily. This guy in this article said it took him
no time,
just a few minutes in chat, like in the online chat with a guy, to get his refund. They know.
I remember years ago, we had a listener question from Jackson. He asked, why don't they make wrestling games anymore? Took us 2 years, but we finally answered it.
Here you go, Jackson.
Here's your answer, buddy. This is
they do make wrestling games. You should try this one, Jackson. You'll love it.
So this has been like one of the common things is people are like, I think this game looks hilarious. All the Twitch streams are super funny, and I want to have that like laughing experience with friends as the game is so crappy, but it's too bad. It's like when you like want to see a bad movie, but it's too bad to have fun with.
Yeah.
That's the level.
That's this.
And the last bit, we've got IGN released an article recently that so the new Call of Duty Modern Warfare is out now. It's received okay reviews.
Yeah.
People seem to think it's aight.
It's been good reviews for Call of Duty.
Yeah, there's a bit of a controversy we don't necessarily need to touch on in terms of the story being a little.
I haven't seen this.
Oh, I don't know how to describe it. As an example, they mentioned the Highway of Death, which, if you remember, during the first Gulf War, when Saddam's troops were retreating down the main 6-lane highway between Kuwait and Iraq back to Iraq, the United States forces just bombed the fuck out of all the retreating. I mean, this is a retreating army, and they just decimated them. They just killed everyone. Because that was like his whole army was right there, and we're like, just take it.
Well, this is
pretty easy. And that was like honestly one of the considerations that George Bush was like, yeah, this war's over now. We're not doing this war anymore.
That was a little
holy
much.
shit. It's like the mercy rule in playing Little League.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, it's 42-0 in the second quarter. We're gonna.
Should we just call it?
And this game apparently made a mention of the Highway of Death and said it was the Russians. And so the whole game is like making these like really gnarly bad guys to justify the horrific things you do in the game as a soldier.
Oh, wow.
So like you can do whatever the fuck you want. You can stick your gun in the guy's mouth and blow his brains out because he's evil.
And you're a Russian.
And you're a Russian. Yeah, I don't know. It's but like I said, we won't go into that. But IGN delayed their review, and I was like, oh, why are they doing that? And I looked, and it's because they hosted the Activision, who makes Call of Duty, hosted a review event. And I did want to talk about this. This is something I have a small amount of insight into, having worked as a video game journalist, is that a lot of times studios that have a game like this, a really big game, they will fly people, all over the world. I'm sure there were people from Japan there reviewing this game. They fly them out. You have like a driver pick you up at the airport. They're standing there holding a sign with your name on it. They just wine and dine the shit out of you. You feel like the coolest because you're a starving video game journalist making $12,000 a year, and you're like, wow, damn, I like this. And then what kind of review do you give the game to the people that did that for you?
You're like, man, they were so nice, though.
And IGN, bless you. I think we tease IGN, a fair amount, but honestly, it's an integrity move, and I really appreciate it. I think that's really awesome. Studios will try to do this. They will always be doing this, and at the very least, they'll still get small blogs and different sites.
Shoot, I'd do it. Wine and dine me. I'll give you a good review. I don't care.
Yeah, we don't have morals here. Yeah. Don't listen to this podcast for like straight reviews.
Good job, IGN, but I wouldn't do it.
No, that's not our style.
You guys can do it.
We've been trying to get bought out for like 3 years now. Any studio, dude, we are worth almost nothing.
Yeah, just reach out.
Our price.
Give us an offer.
Yeah.
You know what? You don't even have to say it. I accept.
Take your lowball and then lowball that, and we'll take it. Anyway, so they came back. They gave it an 8.2, which is like okay,
which is good. Yeah, that's fine.
But yeah, pay attention if you see reviews for games and one's like a little off or one's like a little higher or way lower. It's good to just keep an eye on. And honestly, what I would recommend is if you are really waiting for a review to make your decision on a game, don't rely on one site. Don't rely on one outlet. I would look 5 or 6 because you never know what kind of kooky shit is going on in the background, like this type of nonsense.
Yep.
And so yeah, good job, IGN. Peterson, you have been playing. This is awesome. This is the new game. This is the big thing. The Outer Worlds.
Been playing games.
You've been playing games. A new one, a big AAA title.
So The Outer Worlds is out finally. This game after E3 this year. There was a lot of hype around it, a lot of anticipation. It looked incredible. And I think, real quick,
it's the guy that made New Vegas, Fallout New Vegas.
Fallout New Vegas.
Yeah.
The timing was perfect.
Beautiful.
Because this is exactly what I feel like I have been missing lately, is this type of game. So this is the easiest way to describe it is Fallout in space, right? That's what it feels like.
Yep.
It feels and plays like a
looks
Fallout game. It looks the same. And
same graphics engine, all that
It's reminiscent of it's got a lot of comedy in it, which Fallout games have a little bit of comedy. Yep. There's comedy in it, and it's real low-key, so it reminds me of Borderlands a little bit because it's like in space, huge corporation runs the whole system, you know what I mean? And you're, of course, fighting against them. This game is, guys, this is a breath of fresh air. It is wonderful.
This is what I wanted to hear.
It feels good. It plays good. The dialogue is funny and interesting. The characters are interesting. The story is good. One thing that they do, and it's a typical RPG. You've got skill tree. You're developing. You're leveling up your character, finding new weapons, and that sort
Anyone
of
who's played a Fallout game in the last 10 years,
it's that.
You'll feel right at home.
It's that. But it feels just a little bit different. They even have a VATS-like system.
Mm-hmm.
And they even make it make sense in the context. They're like, this makes sense. And it's really fun. It's a lot of fun. The VATS system is. But you get side quests, all that stuff. But the one thing I feel like it does maybe a little bit better than like a Fallout 4. Do you remember how like in Fallout 4, your whole mission was like, I need to find my son.
Sure.
That's like
underlying
a pretty
message.
dire mission. Like if that was real life, you'd be like, this is my priority.
Where's Sean?
And then in the meantime, you're like, I'm going to go...
I'm going to go wander over here and find this lost violin.
Go find a basketball.
Yeah.
And, just finding all this random stuff. No, it doesn't. And so there's that, like, you have to turn off your brain a little bit in those situations. This game, the way they've handled, at least so far, I'm not super far into the game, but the way they've handled it feels like it would make a little bit more sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, I would do that.
Yeah.
I would do that. I'm serious. This game is wonderful.
Does this have a similar... So I know it's a little different, but in Fallout and Skyrim, it's a big open map, and you can just walk from one point to the other, and often that's when I get distracted and find a side mission.
Yeah.
Is that how this is set up?
Yeah, there's open world. You can also go to, like, different planets.
Yeah, because I knew there were different planets, so I wonder if that would detract from how much time I'm spending wandering on one particular planet.
No, I don't think so. No, I don't think so. Real quick side, because it's really funny. This isn't a spoiler. This happens right at the beginning, and I loved it. I just got such a kick out of it. It's these little things. So you get this ship, and you're going down to the planet, and it's kind of like in secret because the corporation, you don't want them to know, right?
Right.
Because they don't like you. And so you're going down to this planet, and there's this guy who's like in your ear directing you,
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, okay, well, you're just gonna land there and meet the captain. He's meeting you, greeting you there.
Yeah.
And you get out of the ship, and you're like, where is he? And there's a guy crushed underneath your ship. His legs are sticking out. And you're like, oh, I think he
Like
died.
Alice in Wonderland?
Like Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah.
Or,
Not
sorry,
Alice
yeah.
in Wonderland.
Yeah,
Dorothy in somewhere.
Toto
Dorothy and Oz.
and the wizard and the
Wow.
chutes.
If you guys remember what this movie we're trying to figure out is, make sure to hit us up.
There was a scarecrow.
It's definitely a robot.
Scarecrow boat.
Scarecrow boat. That's what it was. Never mind. You don't need to let us know. It was Scarecrow boat.
No, and so your ship crushes this guy, and you're like, oh, I think he's dead. And the guy in your ear is like, oh, he's such an idiot. I told him to put the beacon on the ground and walk away. And you can see it. He's just holding
the
it
beacon
in his hand, and you land right on him. Just little stuff like that. It was killing me. And within the first, 20 minutes, there's several laughs like that. Just little jokes that I just thought were...
You say Fallout's not traditionally funny. I have to issue a correction. Fallout 1 and 2 and New Vegas were extremely funny. Fallout 3 and 4... were pretty funny, but they were they moved away from the Fallout style humor. But these are the same guys that did New Vegas, which was much more Fallout-y. So I think that fits.
Well, I mean, they're funny in a sense that they are funny, but they're not. It's not like Borderlands is
in your face.
In your face. They are joke, fart joke.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not like that.
Uh-huh.
It's this kind of low-key, situational and
It's gallows humor.
Yeah. It is.
Too, squishing a guy with your spaceship.
Yep.
It's fucking hilarious.
It's so funny. This game, okay, guys.
So how far in are you?
I'm only a few hours in.
Okay.
I'm only a handful of hours in because I'm playing it on the Xbox. And usually my kids during the day until nighttime, the kids are dominating the Xbox time.
Right.
So this is what I'll say. This game is a must play, especially if you like these type of games at all. There's no reason not to play it. It's on Xbox Games Pass. I feel
Which is $1.
I feel like we should have a plug. Xbox Games Pass.
We honestly plug it every single week. But I've seen...
Xbox
Games Pass!
I feel like we need
Games
a
Pass.
sound clip. But
Let's just record a few right now, whatever.
Okay.
If you guys aren't buying Games Pass now, you will.
Well, I don't know what's wrong with you. No,
Idiots.
So I pay $10 a month. There's over 100 games. Brand new titles like this are on it. You can get it on the PC for Xbox Games Pass Ultimate. If you've got an Xbox or a PC, you should play this because Ultimate you can get for $1 a month for the first few months, and then it's like $15. I did find this out today. You can with their Taco Bell box. You know how you can like enter to win a new Xbox, right?
Sure. God, that would be
You
great.
can do that, but also you can with that get 14 days of Xbox Games Pass Ultimate for free with the Taco Bell box. So look, guys, just go buy a $5 box meal at Taco Bell, put it on your PC, download this game, play it. You'll love it. I'm telling you, this game is good.
Pro tip: if you do win one of those, if you ever win one of those Xboxes from Taco Bell, and it's not just a regular. If they ship you a regular Xbox, fuck it, bust that thing out and play it. But if they ship you like a Taco Bell branded Xbox or any of those that is like an incredibly limited edition, I know this is going to suck, but do not open it.
Send it to me.
Send it to Peterson. No. You keep that thing in a basement. You take it to your grandma's attic. You stash that thing away for 20 years, and I'm telling you, you pull out your Taco Bell branded Xbox One X or whatever, in 20 years, that thing will sell for a mint.
Yep.
Go buy yourself a moon car.
Outer Worlds,
and you'll have a full
check it
review
out.
for us eventually.
Yeah. When I get more in.
Here's a question for you. So I take out the last 2 weeks of the year traditionally, just because like with New Year's and Christmas, sometimes you can get 2 weeks off by only taking off like a handful of days.
If like
you do it right.
The holidays fall on the right
and it's the
days
Wednesdays.
of
They're
the week.
Wednesdays now.
Yeah,
this week. So if they fall on like a Saturday,
This
Sunday,
year's gonna be great.
Cut your head off. Yeah, no, dude. I can get I think 12 days off in a row for taking 4 days off.
Perfect. Just perfect.
Unbelievable. So I was thinking, and you guys know this if you listen to the podcast, that's traditionally my Fallout 4 period of time. This seems like a valid replacement. But you said it's a must play. Should I wait? If I wait that long, am I going to be so bummed out, or can I wait 2 months?
No, you know what? It's a single-player title. Wait it out. There's other stuff to play. It's not like you don't have anything. It's like you have nothing to play.
No,
dude, wait it out. If you need,
I'm going to wait it out.
This is a perfect game to just sit down and play for 2 weeks.
That's what I want to do. That's what I want to do.
Side missions and all that stuff.
I don't want to get it piecemeal. I want to just like
do it.
Soak this into my skin.
This is perfect for that. Perfect.
So I've also been playing a new game. This came at the recommendation of a coworker who she probably recommended it like 4 times. Where I was finally like, "Oh my god, fine, I'll play it."
Shut up,
gosh. So I finally played it. It's called Noita. I don't know if that's how it's pronounced.
It's got to be. It's Noita.
It's either Noita or Noita.
There's no difference. Wait, or Noita.
Oh, also, the other one, Noita. Was the other pronunciation that I've heard.
Noita.
Nope, that one's wrong.
It's
I do
Noita
know that one's
or
wrong.
Noita.
Or Noita.
Got it.
So Noita is...
Noita.
I'm sorry, I keep saying it wrong. Is a roguelike side-scroller. So roguelike games are those that when you die, you start over at the very beginning of the game. Typically, you get something or unlock something that you can use. However, I don't know if that's the case in this game. I don't know if I've ever unlocked something. At least I haven't been alerted to it. Which is fine. I don't care. It's that good. It's not like I think a lot of roguelikes, they start you out so bare bones that you're almost encouraged and incentivized to go get those deaths out of the way. But you could, in this game, theoretically, unless I'm talking out of my ass, I think you could beat it on your very first run. Where in a roguelike, traditionally, that would be really difficult.
That's
you have to
impossible.
Lose a few times. But in this one, you can get ridiculously overpowered weapons pretty early on.
Love that.
I'm only 3 levels deep. The farthest I've gotten is 3. I think there's a handful of them, and you can go. You're going into a cave. That's the very first thing you do is go into a cave, and then you get to the very bottom is the goal. But you can go to the sides. So you can go off to the side, you can go to the left, to the right, and there are different levels. So you can go, I think it's like 6 or 7 levels down, but you could go down 1, 2 to the right, then down, and then to the left. Whatever you want.
Is there a right or wrong path?
Nope.
Or you just
Nope. It is whatever you want to do.
Is there benefits to going to the side?
Not that I've found.
You'll get new items or
So you start and to the right, so you start on the screen, it's a side scroller, and right above you to your right is a mountain, and that's what you're walking underneath. And I just so happened on one of my runs, everything's procedurally generated, by the way. The map is different every single time. And so on my runs, I happened to just go through the cave to the right, so far just to the right that I ended up coming out. I blasted my way out using a special wand, which I'll touch on. I blasted my way out of the right side of the mountain, and then I just started walking to the right. There were no enemies. There was nothing bad. It was just walking. And I walked through a forest, and then through a desert, and then I came across a pyramid, climbed the pyramid, went down the other side, went through the rest of the desert, and then I eventually ended up in an area that was ? And there was like a special thing I got there. It was not worth it. I wouldn't say to do it, but the fact that it was there,
But
and
you
that
could.
in my curiosity wasn't just like an invisible wall or a barrier, but was here's
that.
something if you want to go wandering you can find. So
Indie devs are the best at this type of stuff, by the way.
because they're the ones that are thinking these crazy thoughts.
Like some idiot will do this,
And this,
I'm going to put something there.
mind you, this is an indie game, and the reason it's so cool is because it's in early access right now.
Oh, yeah.
And the developer is insane, just like Matt Dabrowski with
Broski.
Streets of Rose. It's the exact same way. This guy is incredibly responsive. Apparently, when it launched, it was punishingly almost impossible because if you fell in fire or in lava or in poison toxic sludge, you would die almost immediately before you get to water and wash it off. And everyone is like, dude, it's fun, but this is ridiculous. This is like an insanely steep. It's like Super Meat Boy level of difficulty. And they toned that down, so I never had to deal with that. But let me actually explain the game to you. So you are a little guy. It's a very pixelated game. You're a little guy with a wand.
That's like the point of it, though.
Because every pixel in the game is procedurally generated. And so what that means is if you think about a pile of sand in a video game, typically that is separately programmed, and if you're very lucky, the developer will make a way that if you shoot the sand, it makes a divot. However, I bet 9 games out of 10 that divot will look the exact same in sand as it will in stone, as it will in any other surface. With this, the sand behaves differently than stone, and the stone definitely behaves differently than water and oil, and there are so many different materials, and they all have their own unique pixels and different like abilities for each. So you might come across I'm so obsessed with this game now. I just want to go play it. I don't even want to talk about it anymore.
Screw you guys. I'm going to go play video games.
Yeah,
See you later.
Why are we podcasting about this? So you're
Welcome
a little
to
guy.
the One Big Gamer Show.
Wouldn't that be the best?
Our next
I'm
segment.
just gonna monologue. I hope you guys like karaoke because the one bit with JD is just karaoke and a little bit of Alex Jones.
This is all he wants to do is sing.
It's just karaoke, Alex Jones.
1 is the loneliest number.
I would pay for that.
Yeah, so would my throat cancer doctor. So you're a little guy. You have a wand, and your wand casts spells. You jump, and your jump is essentially a fly, but it's limited, of course, and you can see how long the bar is. And so you don't really worry about double jumps necessarily because everything is a double jump. And then your wand is directional where you're pointing your mouse. I don't think there's controller support currently, which I've actually kind of gotten used to. And so it's WSD with a mouse, and you're just pointing, and then you just click to shoot your wand, and you have different spells in your wand. This is what's really cool is the wands are all different. You find wands throughout the level, and the wands have different spells. They have different slots for spells, so you might pick up a wand that has 1 spell but 5 slots, and when you get to the end of a little mini board, at that point you can edit the spells in your wand. You can even
only use it that many times?
No, some of them, yes. Some of the spells, like a big, huge bomb, might only have limited uses, whereas other spells have infinite uses. And then when you get to the end of these mini levels, they recharge your health and they recharge your spells. So basically, you just have to get from one level to the next.
What do the
and hope to
spells
survive.
do?
So one spell, for example, is just a shot. It's just a one shot. One spell might actually be a arrow. One spell might be a bomb. And obviously, the bomb would not shoot as far or as fast. It has more heft to it. One spell I made the mistake of using. It's called Water Ball or some shit. And you shoot it, and whatever it hits. So you shoot it across the board, and it hits the wall. And at that point, it starts expanding in this like ever-expanding bubble of water. And now if you know,
drowned yourself, didn't you?
I shot it at my feet and I drowned because there was an ungodly amount of water. And I mean, yes, I mean, imagine like a map that you're in on a side scroller and the whole thing fills with water. And what's really cool, the water is draining. So if I was able to have swum out of it, I could have watched the water drain down, and it will drain through the whole map. You can follow it all the way down. There are so many different liquids. There's oil, and if you get oil on yourself, you have to run around and it'll like fall off over time. If you're not moving, it's not going to fall off. So you have to oil yourself, and now you're slippery. So now when you run and you try to stop, you slide.
Are you flammable now?
You're extremely flammable. If you are anywhere near flames, you are on fire. I used a really hot, it was like a fire burning, and I dumped a bunch of water on it, and then the hot steam killed me. The hot steam that was accumulating at the ceiling above me, I tried to run through it, and then it killed me. I mean, this game it feels like Streets of Rogue in the fact that you're like, how did they think about this stuff?
They paid attention to so many things.
That's the point, is with Streets of Rogue, it's kind of fun. It's kind of funny when they're like, oh, wow, I didn't think that like it would do damage if I crawled through a broken window. With this, that is the game, is that it is deliberately complex to the point that these little, I mean, like I said, it's early access. It is a very bare bones game, but as bare bones as it is, it has an extremely high amount of variety in the game. So there's the water one. There's one where I just held down my wand and it just shot everywhere constantly, frequently. I got that spell, that wand, and thought, wow, I just win the game. Because I can just stand in one place and just shoot this off constantly, and everyone will just die automatically. Because the bullets were bouncing. So they not only shooting constantly, but they're bouncing. But you know what else that does? Is I accidentally walked past an explosive, and I was just doing that. Blew myself up immediately. There's lanterns. You can shoot a lantern. If it falls on a wooden surface, it'll burn the wooden surface, and it may spread a fire through literally the whole board. May just fall on dirt, and it won't burn. It is unbelievable how much stuff you can do with this. And I have looked. There are hundreds of spells with the wand. Hundreds. There are hundreds of perks. Haven't even talked about the perks you get. You get just any perk you can think of where you're like stronger, or you're more flame proof, or explosions don't hurt you. Things like that. There's hundreds of perks, hundreds of spells, and then you can, I don't know. It's just it is punishing. Someone asked me if it was difficult. It's not as difficult as Super Meat Boy or what's that new one that's out? It's a woman's name. Jenna was playing it. Celeste. Mm-hmm. Celeste is really, really difficult. Super Meat Boy is really, really difficult. This one's like hard, not impossible. Like any roguelike, it's appropriately difficult. I wouldn't say it's any harder than Dead Cells.
Are you enjoying it?
I am fucking obsessed with this game. Nice. It scratches this weird itch for me that, oddly enough, was started with Worms Armageddon, the destructible landscape. Always was really cool to me. I thought the idea of blowing the map up, lighting it on fire, filling it with water, and then as the new ones came out, the newest one, the new Worms game that's on Xbox One, that was, it's like 5 years old now. That one introduced the concept of like having water that like you could have a water bomb that would come and fill something with water and drown the worms. And I would spend so many of my games just trying to drown worms.
Trying to drown your buddies.
Not blowing them up, not shooting them, not throwing a grenade at them. All I wanted to do was drown them. And so this scratches that itch because you're doing that type of shit constantly and you're not waiting for turns to do it. If you want to just shoot water and fill some, if there's a bunch of enemies below and there's a giant cylinder holding water or hell oil, you can break the cylinder open, it will fill up, and then you can either drown them or light them all on fire. Dude, it is unbelievable. It's $18 right now. It's in early access. It's only on Steam, but I'm sure it'll be moving to the Switch eventually once it's closer to a release title. It's called Noita, Noita. And I honestly think if you like roguelikes, if you like side scrollers, if you like worms, this is a must-have for you. It is so good. I mean, I feel like this is my whole review, and with a roguelike, that's kind of it. I've only put like 5 hours into it, but it feels like that's my whole review because it is 100% a buy at $17. Definitely a wish list item. It might go on. I would be very surprised if it didn't go on sale during the Steam winter sales.
I guarantee it'll be on sale.
And that's when I would pick it up.
Actually, it is on sale right now. I just checked.
Is it
but
really?
Only for 10% off. So it's like $16.
Damn, now I feel like I got screwed. I bought it like 5 days ago, and then it goes on sale?
For $1. You're out $1.
I did discover that there is a site, I don't know what it is, but it tracks the history of Steam sales. Oh, so you can see, like, does this game ever go on sale or not? And you can see, like, when it went on sale, how much it was and stuff. If you just Google
and you don't
Steam
remember the name of
sale history.
Thanks for bringing it up, and then just that's it. You didn't even tell us the name of the site.
It's called Steam Sale History. I'm not gonna. Here's the thing.
SteamSaleHistory.com.
Oh man, and I just learned there is a Halloween sale coming in 3 days. It's steamdb.info/sales/history. That's why I didn't tell them. Just Google Steam Sale History. It will be the first result.
Don't do that. Go to SteamDB
/what?
/his
Dot
store
what?
/his
Do you remember? You forgot.
Steam sales.
What time are we at?
57.
God, we need a third person. Okay, we got 2.
No one is stopping us. Trent.
We should go back to an old Spencer episode when he always used to say, "This is a video game podcast," and that will be our sound clip, and we'll just play it automatically every 15 minutes to make sure we're on track.
Oh yeah, it'll just Spencer kicked in.
Oh shit!
Our Spencer
timer just clicked in. We are a video game podcast. So our next segment. I thought of this because I thought it was. First of all, if you guys are still carving pumpkins, because Halloween is.
I do.
2 days
I do
from
still
today.
carve pumpkins.
You're an idiot.
No.
No.
Disagree.
Here's the thing about pumpkin carving. It is stupid and disgusting. It's a mess. It's needlessly
Shots
messy
fired.
because all you're really doing is it's for the candle, right? That's the ultimate goal is you want this to be a light up feature.
You want it to glow.
You want it to glow.
Because that's what a jack-o'-lantern is.
Yeah, see,
You don't want a jack-o'-lantern.
I don't want a jack-o'-lantern.
You
I
just
want
want a pumpkin.
Pumpkin, and I want it painted.
Nope.
Jenna
There's a
converted
place
me
for
into
it.
painting
There's
pumpkins.
a place for that.
And I'll tell you, I never
And
get...
it's at the baby's nursery. All right, you want a man's pumpkin? You are shoving your hand all the way down to the elbow into that slimy mess and digging around.
Nothing
for
is
about- it
manlier,
gets
and you
under
are
your
smoking
nails.
Marlboros, and you're drinking Coors banquet beer.
Oh, yeah.
Not
You
Coors
have a
Light, because
tank
you are a
top on.
man.
Your chest hair is out of control.
Yep. Your mustache
And-
down to your jawline, which is chiseled as fuck.
And you are digging pumpkin guts out. And you pull out a big gut and you look at it like you just ripped out someone's heart.
Ernest Hemingway always used
Take
to
a
write
bite
about
if you
this.
want.
Kalima! Dude,
You have betrayed the Shiva.
all I'm saying...
If you don't say that at least once while you're pumpkin carving, you are
you
doing it
even
wrong.
carving pumpkins? I'm just saying, acrylic paints, less messy, less goop everywhere. You don't have to wash your hands all the time. You don't have to wash a bunch of knives. It's just easier. So I recently painted a bunch of, if you guys remember Fallout New Vegas, Yes Man, the robot that was assisting you. He had all the little different faces that were broadcast on his little TV screen of a face. I painted a few Yes Man faces.
Jenna painted them because they looked good.
This is rude. This is becoming
You
a very
can't
rude
paint.
segment. I did this. This was easy for
You're
me.
the karaoke guy. Jenna's the painter.
Yeah, she's even better than me at karaoke too. So Peterson and I got to thinking, like, what are some good and not so good video game pumpkin decoration ideas? Now, you only have 2 days from the airing of this podcast, but we know you're all procrastinators because you play video games.
Well, I was talking to some of my friends last night.
I haven't done theirs yet.
Nope, they hadn't carved pumpkins yet.
Which again, another factor of carving pumpkins. I saw someone last week while I was walking my dog that had carved pumpkins, and I thought, you idiot. You
I carved
dumb
pumpkins.
Shit. Carving them this early, so by the time Halloween comes around, they're rotted. In fact, if you are carving pumpkins, now is probably just about the best time to do it.
If it's cold enough, they'll last a few weeks.
Well, yeah, considering, it's been like the coldest
It's been
October
pretty good.
weather here
We're still
ever.
pretty good. They haven't gotten too mushy yet. One of them's a little.
If you're not
mushy.
from Utah,
In
one of
Vegas, this was a
one of our
problem.
favorite Utah traditions is wearing a really dope Halloween costume you're really excited about. You've been excited about for maybe months. Maybe your
Spent a
mom
lot of
specially
time in
stitched it to
this.
fit you, so you look like the coolest Red Ranger in school.
Oh wow!
And now you have to wear a parka underneath your costume because it is 20 degrees while you go trick or treating.
That's the worst part. Your costume does not.
So you
matter.
are a Red Ranger with the hood of your parka coming out, the purple parka coming out the back of it. Or you're a hunchbacked Red Ranger.
You've got a parka
Stupid
on
state.
and a beanie and a scarf. So your legs are
You're the
Red Ranger.
coolest Red Ranger legs, but you have to wear shoes.
Yeah, but you got big boots
So
on.
basically, from your ankles to
And
your
you're
waist
a
is the
kid.
coolest Halloween costume you've ever
You're
worn.
a kid, so your parka's probably a little big because your mom wants it to
So
last
from
a
your
couple
mid
years.
thigh to your ankle, you look so badass. You and Tommy gonna go kick some
so
Zords.
many comments.
Oh my god,
People are like, "Oh, you must be
I hate
Red Ranger."
I hate it.
Yeah, no, it really does suck. So, pumpkin ideas.
Pumpkin
what
ideas.
would you do? I've got a couple last minute ones that'd be good, and I'm sure they've been done.
Okay, I have some good last
This
minute
is a
ones.
good last minute.
Okay.
So, here's what you need to do. You need to go find, first of all, a pumpkin patch that you can go to.
They're all
and
picked
not
over.
not like one of the big ones where they've got like the hay ride and a Ferris wheel where they made it like a carnival. You need to go find one of the local ones because they sell their pumpkins for dirt cheap.
Right.
So you go buy like, I don't know, a bunch of those little teeny $1 ones.
Cool.
The little guys. Okay, you put them out, and then you buy one big one, carve them as Pac-Man, and you just put them in a big line.
That's a good idea,
Dude, it will take you you could even paint it. You could even paint it.
You
It'll
know-
take you no time.
I liked this segment before it got so hateful.
2v1. I get the second person, though. So I'm 2 comments, you're 1. Here we go.
Rude JD's comment.
So yeah, easy. That you
I
can
like
do
Pac-Man.
that
Yeah.
in... Honestly, you could do that in 20 minutes.
I bet I could do it in 1 minute with a machete. That is
Wait.
2 machete strikes to the side of a pumpkin, and then you're done.
Wait, how accurate are your machete swings? Are you good with the machete? Like, have you been practicing?
Yeah, I have a machete with my own name on it, so
See,
Yeah.
okay.
Oh, yeah, it's
a little
pretty
bit
cool.
of a flex, but okay.
just a little flex.
Wow. I have a rusty dull machete, so
That says a lot about you. I think even cheaper. Because you only have to buy one pumpkin,
okay.
and you can do one of the little ones.
Okay.
I was actually thinking for a big one, but a little one's even more
They're
appropriate.
too hard to carve.
Just paint the whole thing blue, all over. Now it's a sticky grenade from Halo.
Oh shoot, a sticky grenade from Halo.
Everyone's like, "Cool blue pumpkin." You're like, "You dumbass."
That's not a blue pumpkin.
What are you, an idiot?
You sound so stupid right now.
Same thing, except for pink.
Wait,
Now you got a Kirby
a Kirby pumpkin.
or
You could paint a little eye
a
on it.
Jigglypuff. Dealer's choice. If you got pink and you got a pumpkin, you're set.
Kids are like, "Hey, at your doorstep, why is your pumpkin pink?" Be like, you look like a Jigglypuff, kid. It's a Jigglypuff.
Yeah. Are you a Jigglypuff or are you?
What's Jigglypuff?
Kirby?
It's a Kirby.
Oh, it's a Kirby. You know.
I like Kirby.
Kirby. Play with Smash Brothers.
They're both in Smash Brothers,
So it doesn't matter. Kids
it
will
doesn't
know.
matter. They'll know.
Those are all my.
Oh
No, I have one more quick one.
oh, go.
You have a chainsaw. You have a pumpkin.
Oh yeah.
You just
Of
chainsaw
course.
the shit out of the pumpkin.
Oh, that sounds fun.
It's a Gears of War pumpkin.
Do you leave the chainsaw out?
Sure. Fucking cares. You're obviously phoning it in this Halloween. Who cares? Leave the chainsaw running.
On your neighbor.
I don't give a
On
shit.
your porch.
You just chainsawed a pumpkin on your own porch.
It is your
you
property. You
clearly
can do whatever
don't
you
give
want.
a shit.
You didn't invite the kids.
You're just phoning
they
it
just
in.
came.
I didn't ask you to come ask for candy.
Okay, so another one, which I'm sure has been done as well. You get one and you carve it. You just carve a hole in it. 2 pumpkins. Carve holes in them. Put a blue light in one. Put an orange light in one. They're
Portal.
the portals. And then you get like a little. You just make a little guy out of whatever you could.
You
use
take
the
a pumpkin, you
pieces.
cut it in half.
Yeah, and you just like half of it's in one, half is in the other.
Dope.
Total pumpkin.
Dude, as
Like,
long as
I'm
we're
kind
talking
of mad that I didn't do that.
I was going to say, as long as we're talking about good pumpkins, I actually came up with a good one. I posted it on our social media. You guys have probably already seen it, but a Big Daddy helmet. So I posted one that was an entire Big Daddy.
It looks good.
All you need for the Big Daddy helmet pumpkin is a clothes hanger, a wire clothes hanger, and some wire cutters. Because then you can make, which is a Big Daddy helmet. If you're not familiar with BioShock, Big Daddies are wearing an old diver suit, a very old school like 1960s diver
Like
suit,
that metal helmet.
big helmet. So you cut a couple holes in there for the eyes, and then you do you just poke the wires in. You poke the coat hanger in where their wires are. And then once the one I posted on social media looks dope because once you put a candle in, all the eyes are glowing just like they glow in BioShock. So BioShock pumpkin.
Guys.
And there's only one of these that I could find on social media that's made this way. All the other ones, it's like carving a super fancy Big Daddy into
Like,
it. And
yeah,
it
and
looks
then it's
really
like
nice.
You're
and
barely
looks stenciled.
carving it. It looks good.
Stupid.
No,
No.
we're not talking about those. If you
'Cause
can
we
do
clearly
that,
lack the
get
skills
heck
to do
outta
that.
Here, 'cause
No.
we can't do it. Just that's not what we're talking about here. The other one is a sleeping Toad from Mario.
Go
All
on.
you got to do, because he's got the white and red hat, right? The huge hat.
Okay.
So you just paint the this is a paint idea.
Hey,
you paint
don't be
it.
sorry.
You
It's a
paint it
great
white
idea.
with the red polka dots,
Mm-hmm.
and then you set it down. And then you know how his feet are just big round balls.
Oh my god.
You just put those coming out underneath it. It looks like he's got his head down sleeping.
I don't know how you missed this one, but why don't you just make a Yoshi egg?
Yeah, you could do a Yoshi.
Yoshi
I
egg.
thought about that.
No
or
problem.
Yoshi eating your pumpkin, which is even easier. If you have a Yoshi doll already, just make it eating your pumpkin. No,
There you go.
No problem.
Better
You
have
don't
a
have
nest
to-
cam.
You don't even have to paint it or carve it. Oh yeah, you need a nest cam.
Here's what you do. You take a pumpkin, you find a long pumpkin, you cut the top off, you hollow it out, and then you take like a baby doll, and you stuff that in there. You get Death Stranding pumpkin.
Oh my god.
So everyone's like wondering, like, why is there a creepy baby doll coming?
It's like face
crawling,
sticking
Yeah,
up.
yeah. You have to have it like coming out of the pumpkin. You put the candle in there and everything, so it glows. And people are like, "Why is there a baby doll crawling out of the pumpkin?" And you'll be like, "Oh, you must not be a gamer.
You don't get it.
You don't get it. You don't get it."
So I had one. This is actually one of my good ones. One of my ideas that I liked. You put up a sign that says "Trick or Cheat." Trick
Okay.
or cheat.
Okay.
And you have 3 pumpkins, and you one with an X, one with a Y, one with a Z, and and that's it. You just put them up on a display. Trick or cheat. If they get it, and you give them, because a popular cheat code from back in the day that's made its way through pop culture is XYZZY. Have you heard of that?
Doesn't sound like
It's
the
a
Konami code to me.
It's not the Konami one, but that's too big.
Yeah. No, you don't
down,
need up, down, left,
eight,
right,
left, right,
B, A,
eight,
B, A, enter.
Yeah,
That's a lot
I
of
count. It's like a
pumpkins.
dozen pumpkins.
Yeah. That's
No.
like at least 100 pumpkins. I'm not a mathematician,
yeah,
but
like
it sounds like
100.
1,000 pumpkins.
It is, yeah. So, I mean, if you have $400 to spend at the pumpkin patch,
on 1,000.
go buy all those, and you need a truck to ship them all to your house.
A dump truck.
Do that. Or you could just do the XYZ. But here's the thing. If they know this is like a deep cut. This is like Ready Player One type of stuff. If they can touch the pumpkins or whatever, put in the right code, you give them like a pack of king-size candy bars or something. Because that was like the cheat code. So the Konami one's like number 1 cheat code. This is like number 2
From what
cheat code.
games?
It was oh gosh, what's the game called? The game that it was originally called was like some old like Dungeon Quest type of game. I'd have to look up what it was called. But it took you to, you're collecting treasure, but it would take you to a special room where you could like collect all this other loot, and it could teleport you to far away areas that were hard to get to.
Okay.
But then again, lots of other
It does seem
games-
like a deep cut enough that not all the kids would get it.
Oh
This sounds
yeah,
pretty
it's
good.
got to be deep cut.
Yeah.
It's got to be deep
I feel
cut.
like Konami code, all the parents would be like, go do
Up,
this.
down, yeah. No, this one is deep cut. That's why I say it's like Ready Player One, trick or cheat. If you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't. You
Okay.
get a normal little Tootsie Roll or whatever garbage I'm going to give you.
So this is similar. This is a similar one. This is a Fallout 76 pumpkin. Same thing. You put up a sign. You put up a big sign about how awesome your pumpkin is. You want everyone to see it. And then, this is a little out there, but you are now charging for people to see your pumpkin.
oh, shoot.
But it's okay because, it's so crazy. And then, people are, lining up around the block.
see
And
this
they're,
pumpkin.
they have to see this pumpkin because you had a sign up and you told them how great it was. And then you let them in your house and... Oh, fuck. I forgot the part where you have to carve a pumpkin for... Never mind. Forget it. Just show them pumpkin.
Just show them a pumpkin.
It's fine. It's fine. It worked for a multi-million-dollar game studio. I'm sure it'll work for you guys.
You need to make it a reveal. Guys, I'm going to do
You
my
have
pumpkin
no idea what this
reveal.
pumpkin's going to look like.
So here's what you do. Here's the long con. You do amazing, gigantic pumpkins 3 years in a row.
And then
Year 4, you're like, okay,
everyone's
guys,
so hyped.
this is expensive. I'm just,
This is the big pumpkin
you want
guy.
to be there for the pumpkin reveal. I'm going to need like $5 a person, whatever.
Worth it.
But it's going to be worth
I've
it. I'll
seen
give
your
you a piece of
pumpkins, man.
candy.
I've seen them.
I'll give you like I'll give you some primo candy to come to the pumpkin reveal. You come, and guess what?
It's
not
just
even
a pumpkin. It's not even a pumpkin.
It's not even a pumpkin. It's like a bag of
We're
apples.
just playing Smashing Pumpkins
It's a bag of apples.
over and over and over again with a bag of apples.
And then we just leave.
Oh, okay.
We don't want you to talk to us. We turn off the lights
Yeah.
on our porch.
We're out.
We call the cops for all the people who are going to come
Bunch
throw
of
exit your
shitheads.
house. Call the cops on them.
Banging
and
on
then
my
you just
door.
go in the house, turn your lights off, and go watch TV downstairs.
Fallout 76 pumpkin.
Count your money.
Y'all welcome. Also, don't ever make a Fortnite pumpkin unless you want all the grouchy fucks that don't like Fortnite to come smash your pumpkin.
It'll get smashed immediately.
Just a heads up.
Immediately.
I won't.
The kids will love it.
Yeah,
but
kids will love it to death, and it'll be really cool.
Fortnite sucks, and they'll come kill it.
I hate other people liking games I don't like. That makes me so mad.
We have a couple minutes. Can I tell my Fortnite story?
Yeah.
So I've been playing Fortnite. My kids want me to play Fortnite with them.
Sure.
They're like, "Oh, Dad,
popular
come play
game
with
in the
us."
world.
Because they play. We've got the Switch, we've got the Xbox, and I've got it on my computer. And so I was like, "Okay, whatever. I'll play with you guys." So boot it up, and I'm playing with them, which is fun. It's fun to play with the kids. I don't love the game. I just don't love it. But I'm playing with the kids, and I'm getting so many kills. I'm in there like,
You haven't played this game forever.
dude. My first game, I killed like 7 dudes.
Really?
My best game in PUBG in like 800 hours of PUBG is like maybe 6 kills.
Oh, yeah.
So I was like, what is happening? And my kids are like, I don't know. We have won Victory Royale like so many times since Chapter 2 released. And I was like,
God.
dude, this is crazy.
Yeah.
So then I look up on the internet. Fortnite, Epic being the extremely intelligent company that they are.
Sure.
They are, I'll tell you what, they do so many things right when it comes to like marketing. I mean, they just get it. They, in Chapter 2, if you are a low enough level, your game is full of bots. And
This is my
these
dream.
Bots are stupid. So once I noticed this, then I will like really noticed it. So I played again with them the other night, and I'm up on top of a building, and I see this guy running into our town, and I'm like, okay, guys, here comes the guy. You know,
Yeah.
and I pull out my AR to shoot him, and he was far enough away where this wasn't like I could just point it at him and shoot, and I'll hit him.
Yeah.
It was like, the bullet drift or movement
Right.
would come into play. This guy's running into town, gets to the edge of town, builds a wall, a single straight-up wall, not against anything, just in the middle of nowhere, runs around it and keeps going. And I was like, what the heck? So then I start shooting at him, and he pulls out a shotgun. And again, I'm far enough away
Right.
to where I'm like, I'm having a hard time hitting him.
Yeah.
And he's shooting at me with a shotgun. I didn't even have to move. I just stood in one place and just like pop, 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 pop till he was dead. And I was like, this is a bot.
Your kids are like, way to go, Dad! You're so good!
Dad got another kill.
Dad killed someone else! Way to go, Dad!
And so pretty much you're to the point where you know how they're not bots is when they start, when you
Building
shoot
mansions.
at them, and they, within 4 seconds, they are in a mansion sipping tea in the inner chamber. While
Which you don't
sit
even know
there-
exists because there's like a secret hidden door to it.
You're
It's like a
and it's
spinning
full of
fireplace.
traps.
Yeah.
There's traps everywhere.
There's a
while I'm
bookcase
using
spinning.
all of my ammo just to try to break down these stupid walls. I hate this game.
Dude, I think that, like you said, they're
My kids
smart.
though have won. Since Chapter 2, I bet between the two of my older boys, I bet they've gotten 15 Victory Royales.
Totally. And like you said, that's smart though, because like that
love
is,
it.
we've talked about this before, that Fortnite now is such a barrier to entry because it's not only are you running around and jumping and being crazy and having to fight against kids, but they're building, and it is like this, the difficulty curve is so steep in that game. Most people will play one game, especially if you're coming from PUBG or Apex Legends, where you're like, oh, I can run and shoot. And you're like, no, you have to do so much more. They're like, oh, well, if you're new to the game, we won't punish you quite as much. I think it's smart.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think it's sustainable.
They're getting new players. They're getting kids. Here's the thing.
Kids
Their
are getting
audience
stoked.
is kids.
And
Kids
they're
are
stoked.
winning, and they are pumped.
Well, imagine if you are either one of the two. You're a 6-year-old kid, or you're a kid that's shitty at video games. Myself, I was terrible at video games as a kid. I would have very much appreciated this because I would have had all my friends coming to school bragging about Victory Royales, and I would just sit there quietly like, I'm never even.
I don't get in.
I don't even get like anywhere near the end. If Fortnite was out when I was 10, I don't think I could get a kill in that game. I played Halo LAN parties. I played GoldenEye with friends and routinely just shellacked.
Bottom
Could
three every
not-
time.
Bottom three every
me.
single time. Could not compete. I was okay at like Mario Kart or those games that are like not as difficulty, but shooters like that is
Shooters.
where they get
Those are the
hard.
hard
And so no, I think it's smart. I think it's smart of them to do it that way.
Yep. But friggin' bots. Friggin' bots. And they did it low-key, too. They weren't like, we're adding bots to the games.
Nope.
People are like, this is
We're just filling out our
too
servers with
easy.
1,000 bots.
Genius.
Okay, so we got one last thing, and this is something we're uniquely qualified for. Having been to BlizzCon before, and having followed Blizzard's recent but spectacular, I would say, fall from grace. But is it a fall if you jumped?
If you
purposely jumped and then like posed on the way down, can you call that a fall from grace or a swan dive?
One middle finger during
from
that pose too.
Yeah. So Blizzard has been just shitting the bed. Blizzard's
had a rough couple years.
The game studio behind World of Warcraft, Overwatch, Diablo, StarCraft, all these very notable huge titles, and they've been a mainstay as a positive game developer that nobody can think of a single negative thing. All reliable. Mm-hmm. That is what they have been. They have been. I'm trying to think.
They release something, it's going to be one of the best in that genre.
Yeah,
if not the best.
Yeah, and so this recent, since basically BlizzCon last year,
was it last year?
Diablo Mobile.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure. Yeah. And it has been I know, right? We're all dying at an extraordinary rate. But last year, they announced, instead of what everyone wanted, which was Diablo 4, the follow-up to their 2012
this was their
Diablo 3.
End of the opening show.
Yeah, they didn't have any big announcements.
This was their
everyone's
big
like,
one.
obviously, it's going to be Diablo 4. Diablo fans have been waiting forever. Diablo 3 had a awkward start. They tripped at the start line, but then they got it together and had a pretty good life cycle for the game to the point that
massive PR blunder.
We're ready for Diablo 4, and they come out on stage and they announced Diablo Mobile, which is not even nearly as appealing as it sounds because it is basically a skin of an existing game in China. Mm-hmm. So they've skinned a game, called it Diablo, and that is their primo.
That was their
announcement.
Big one.
So that kind of really soured people on Blizzard, and then
people were booing. Which does not happen at BlizzCon.
A couple of weeks later, they announced that they were shuttering esports for Heroes of the Storm. They were tapering off development on Heroes of the Storm, which is, I get it, fine. Like, honestly, as a business decision, okay. But packaged with that was layoffs of hundreds of what they called non-essential staff. So these were non-development roles, PR and marketing, which probably would have been really beneficial right now. They're probably wishing they had the boots on the ground to deal with the PR nightmare they've been dealing with for last year. And then, just as a cherry on top, they gave their new CFO like an $18 million bonus. I got to get that number right.
It was a huge cash bonus. So this was all in this last...
$15 million.
This was all in this
after
last
they
year.
laid off. Yeah, that was all, like the months and weeks following BlizzCon, which was already a mess. And then since then, they've had the issue that we already discussed in China,
Hong Kong, Hearthstone player situation.
Yep. And they have and then they released WoW Classic, which is actually a rare bright spot. Pretty well received. WoW Classic went pretty well.
It was what people wanted.
However, at the same time, the newest WoW expansion has been a mess. People aren't digging it. It has been not what people wanted. Mm-hmm. So long story short, Blizzard's been having a really rough year, and it begs the question, what during their annual convention, BlizzCon, is going to happen?
What's going to happen?
I have to say, just to start and to couch the segment, BlizzCon is not an annual segment. They have no obligation. There is no expectation of them doing this annually. They have had in the past as few as 2 or 3 main title games. And so it didn't really make sense if they didn't have big updates or they didn't have a big expansion for those games. It didn't make sense to have BlizzCon. However, now over the last few years, it's become an expectation because they have huge games like Overwatch, Hearthstone, and it made sense to have their world competition or the world championships for their esports at BlizzCon. It made good sense to dovetail at the end of the year into this one big convention. And so that makes sense, I think, why they are still having it and they feel compelled to have it.
Yep.
But I got to say, they do not need to do this, and they're doing it anyway.
They should have. I feel like
just have the esports part.
Have done it.
Call that Blizzard Esports World Championship. Call that what it is and be done with it. But they're doing a full-fledged BlizzCon, and what's going to happen?
I am actually excited to see what happens.
Extremely excited. I might buy the pass. I might watch the whole fucking thing for the first time in my life.
First question. Yeah. I might actually sit down and watch
Yeah,
something
with
video
a big
game
bag
related.
of popcorn.
It's not video game. Me playing video games.
Yeah, I just want drama.
Do you think people are going to be protesting?
Yes.
Because of the China-Hong Kong.
Yes.
If you don't know what we're talking about, the China-Hong Kong thing, the perception is that Blizzard has taken the side of China because of all of the
money.
Yeah, because of money. So people and obviously the gaming community and a lot of the US, it's one of the few things in the last I don't know how long
10
that both sides, both major political parties have agreed on.
Yep. Fuck China.
We are siding
It's
with
tight.
Hong Kong in this.
It's the tightest thing. Our country, as is always been the case, can unify around group xenophobia. And we're doing it. We love hating other people.
We don't like communism.
We don't like communism or whatever appropriation China is right now of communism.
Yeah, we don't like it.
But we can all agree.
We don't agree with it.
Yeah, we don't like it.
We can agree that we don't agree.
Yes.
So, are there going to be protests at BlizzCon?
Yes. And I will add
protest.
this to my prediction. Blizzard security, which will not be Blizzard employees, they will be event staff security, which means they probably, in a lot of cases, these security staffers, they contract for a security firm and they work events. They probably aren't as connected with, they may be, but you can't guarantee that they're all going to be in the know of geopolitical controversies as they relate specifically to one particular game studio. I doubt that they will know the intricacies of it, and so my bet is that Blizzard security will have some sort of big fuck up on day one. Day one, opening, the very beginning, there's going to be a big kerfuffle. Day one.
There's going to be pepper spray involved.
God, I hope so.
That was my high school. Did I tell you that? Every high school fight, by the time my senior year rolled around, they would just start doing pepper spray immediately.
Seems illegal?
No, immediately. Any fight, they didn't even try to break it up. They just start spraying all the kids with pepper spray.
Same high school,
They weren't even real
2019.
cops.
Now they just shoot guns. Because everyone, the cops tapping the students. Hey, you guys, one of you guys got a gun? All right, someone shoot your gun. Shoot your gun. We got to break this up.
We got this.
We got to break this fight up.
Okay, so I have some funny predictions. One of my non-funny predictions, I think they're going to, if they're smart, they are going to poke fun at themselves quite a bit in their opening ceremony thing. They're going to make fun of their announcement. You don't think they'll be they'll make fun of the whole don't you all have cell phones thing? I think they make fun of it.
Possibly.
I think they poke fun at themselves. Not real
that's a good
hard.
point.
I think they'll do it just for the positive PR because everyone there was pissed. And I think they'll poke fun at themselves as a correction, but only if they do have something big to announce. If
so that's
they
my
don't
question.
Announce Diablo 4.
It has to be Diablo 4. We all know Diablo 4 is coming out. And it's a really weird... I can imagine how many managers at Blizzard are just so pissed because they know they're working on Diablo 4. They probably have the announcement trailer ready for 6 months now, and they know all they need to do to buy some free goodwill off of Blizzard fans is drop the trailer. Just drop the fucking trailer. You could have avoided all of this
till November
if you did what Bethesda did at last year's E3 and just show the title card for Elder Scrolls 6. They didn't even, which is a sequel to Skyrim, they didn't even give it a name. It wasn't Elder Scrolls 6 Cyndaquil or anything. It was literally Elder Scrolls 6. And that's all you need to do is put Diablo 4 on a screen.
So horny
that's
when
all
they
people
showed
wanted
that.
it.
They
yes.
were, oh yeah, here we go.
And no one cares now, and they're stoked on it. And so, yeah, they have to announce Diablo 4.
Announced Diablo 4 coming to you
on your cell phones.
December of 2028.
Yeah, so Diablo 4, maybe that's what they're holding off on. Maybe the game will ship in 2018. Wouldn't that be insane?
2018?
Yeah, they're this
year?
game. No, they are Diablo 4 is out now.
Oh, it's
Open Battle.net, it's on there.
That would buy them a lot of goodwill.
That would be good. That would be huge. I think they will announce that HOTS is dead.
Okay, so real quick aside.
Dead.
JD and I tried to play HOTS the other night. He was like, you know what? I want to play some HOTS.
Weird itch.
And I was like, all right,
Updated
dude, I can
it.
do that. Yeah. So JD's in a bot game or something, or
couldn't
in,
get
in
into
the
a
client.
bot game. I
Yeah.
couldn't get into a
He
bot
couldn't
game.
find a bot game while I'm downloading this, and my computer's kind of slow. My internet's kind of slow, so it took me 20.
I was
plus
waiting.
minutes.
I canceled and redid it 3 or 4 times, but I would say a cumulative 20 minutes spent searching for a game.
And you didn't get in one?
Nope.
So I finally get into the client. I invite JD to my game, and I'm like, dude, join. And he's like, I didn't see an invite. Turns out I cannot click on
button.
anything.
Any button.
Anything in the game except for, like, I can click on the store thing and, like,
'Cause you
a
can
couple
give 'em
things.
money.
Yeah,
You can
I
still give 'em money.
I
Come
can click on that stuff, and I could browse through the skins. I couldn't even exit the game. I'd hit escape, and the exit menu would pop up. Couldn't click on any of that. If I wanted to quit the game, I had to Control-Alt-Delete out of it.
So
Shut it
maybe
down,
the announcement.
booted it back up.
And then we just gave up.
I was like, is
We
this
just gave up and
game
didn't play HOTS,
dead?
which we played.
How can we not play HOTS?
Maybe that's the announcement, is that they'll say, oh, HOTS has been dead for months, and no one noticed.
No one knows.
None of you noticed because no one plays it.
No, they're going to come out, Heroes of the Storm. They'll play the music.
Yeah, oh, of
and they'll be
course.
Like, is dead. And everyone's like, what?
StarCraft is dead. World of Warcraft.
They'll be like, but get ready for StarCraft. And everyone's going to be like, oh my gosh, are they finally going to do a new StarCraft game?
It's
new
dead.
StarCraft. Gone.
Esports is dead. I think they will kill esports. I think they're going to kill esports on StarCraft, and it's dead on HOTS, and World of Warcraft
What about
esports has
Overwatch?
always been dead. So, yeah, it's just going to be
Overwatch
Overwatch.
League.
Just going to be Overwatch.
They're going to keep limping that guy through until they release Overwatch 2.
And they're going to, yeah, so I think they're going to announce some bullshit about Overwatch that no one cares about, because Overwatch is, like, so passe now. And not to say that's a fault of Overwatch, but Overwatch was a fad, unfortunately.
It came in super
and
hot.
they
It was tons
they
of
went
fun.
all in on a fad, which I don't know I would have done the same.
I mean, they made a ton of money on it, tons of buzz. It was Game of the Year.
Yeah, I guess. God, how old is it? Like
but
2014.
I think it's just it's
old
come and
now.
gone, right? It's kind of lost
It came
its
and
luster.
gone like it was come and gone like a couple genres ago. I mean, MOBAs died, then I
Yeah.
think turn-based or role-based shooters died, and now I would say battle royales are
Royale.
on the way out. Battle royales are dying, and Overwatch is 3 life cycles ago. I think there's a possibility they announce an entirely new game, whole new property, just some mobile shitter game. I don't know, something easy, something like like Hearthstone. From a development perspective, Hearthstone is incredibly easy. Hearthstone is just a big math problem.
I think they announce that they have 2 new titles, unheard of, new IPs
Okay,
that they're canceling.
just to be rude.
Wait, what?
They show the trailer and everything, and then they're like, just kidding, it's gone.
They're gonna come out and say, okay, and we have a big announcement. We are moving away from Activision, and people lose their. They
There
just
you
go
go.
nuts. They go
That's
nuts,
all you need to do.
and then they say, and we're moving over to China.
Tencent bought all of us.
No. He looks at his sheet. Wait, is this right? It just says China.
Just as the Communist Party of
Wait,
China.
was it a company or anything like that?
Oh,
Tencent?
People's
was-
Republic of China. Is that a company? Is that a studio? Hey,
What did they make?
can we check if that's a studio?
China.
No, it's just China. Can
Can you imagine?
I can imagine, unfortunately.
Instead of people will be typically at BlizzCon. People are like, for the Horde, for the Alliance.
For
You're
Hong
gonna hear a
Kong.
third that's gonna say, serve the people, which is China's unofficial motto.
Right.
But we don't know that, so people will be like, yeah.
Yeah.
For the people, serve the people.
Oh my God.
Can you imagine? I would die. There's going to be a new WoW event announced, and it's going to take place in Pandaria. You know how they've got like the Pandaria. They did that several years ago. What's going to be happening, I think, is there's going to be a small faction, maybe a little bit different than the regular pandas. They're going to be like red pandas or something like that in Pandaria, but they're small but powerful, and they're going to be rebelling, and you need to go in there and quell this uprising.
Yeah.
This is sponsored by
Sponsored by the state
the
government. of China.
What is it? Wait, CRC. I think it was what it's called. The China's party.
Yeah.
By China. China's sponsoring a new WoW event.
I mean, we're back on it, so let's talk about it. Like, what the hell are they going to do? So I think that day one, like I said, there's a clusterfuck, and they kick out some protesters. But as this happens, this is a 3-day event.
3 days.
3 days of arms races. So you kick out a protester for wearing a Hong Kong t-shirt. They're wearing another Blizzard t-shirt on top, and then they go in day 2 with the same Hong Kong t-shirt. They take off the first one. This is what I'm talking about, an arms race. Mm-hmm. And then you ban that t-shirt. And
face masks.
Yeah, face masks, those are out. Posters, you write something, and then, they're like, oh, it says Free Hong Kong, you can't have that poster in here. So you bring in a poster that says, it's written something else, and all you need to do is add a few lines with a Sharpie, and now it says Free Hong Kong. And they're like, oh, my God. I think this will be continuing. I think having tens of thousands of people, there were 35,000 people 2 years ago. I think you have that many people there. At a certain point, it becomes a game to them to troll you, because any efforts they make to shut this down from their live broadcasts or their live streams will encourage these people to try different venues to get their shit on the screen. That's just how these things work. That's how gamers' minds work, and they've never really... The other problem is, like we mentioned, they are very low. I think of all of the 4+ PR folks that we worked with at BlizzCon the last time we went, 1 is still there. And not to say the other 3 were replaced. So they are low on staff.
Yep.
That is the people that could respond to these types of things in a thoughtful, well-reasoned manner. They've lost those folks. And then the other problem is that they have never dealt with something like this before. They have never had insurrections at BlizzCon. BlizzCon is a peaceful place. It's literally across the street from Disneyland. It is the happiest place on earth adjacent. And so they're not going to be accustomed to what I imagine. There are a lot of the Hong Kong protesters. These people are pissed. They are fighting for their lives in some cases.
Yep.
This isn't like a we're mad about Diablo mobile thing. This is a bigger issue that they've fallen ass backwards into, and now they have to clean it up with half the PR and marketing staff that they normally would have. I don't know what the hell's going to happen. I'm so excited. BlizzCon...
I think day 3 there's going to be an actual riot, and it's going to be started by Riot. I think
they're just down the street.
They're just like, you know what? Like, we sense some sort of toxicity happening. The employees are just going to wander on over.
They just sniff it.
And
they sniff it out.
Their presence,
like hungry dogs.
It's just like an infectious disease.
It's a toxicity
It'll be
cloud.
Riot starts riots at BlizzCon.
Perfect.
You heard
Headlines
it here
write
first.
themselves. They literally write themselves. I didn't know this. BlizzCon is Friday. BlizzCon starts this Friday, so you don't even need to wait for the drama. I was going to buy the Outer Worlds. I don't need the Outer Worlds. I'm just going to watch drama all weekend.
Sit there and be like, "This is great.
This is great. This is good stuff."
Take notes. Riot's going to be taking notes.
Riot's are like, what can we learn from this? These guys seem to do a pretty good job of making their fans hate them.
It.
Whoa, man! I heard a lot of slurs. This is really good. All right. Oh, God, we can't do this. You have a review. You have a DICE review.
Oh, shoot. I'll make this pretty quick.
Okay, do it.
So, Dice of Destiny. We got to play it.
Hold on.
Dice.
Yeah, start. Oh, yeah, you can do karaoke on this.
Dice.
Of Destiny.
Okay, Dice of Destiny is our fun little gaming segment we do where we have a 20-sided die. We have 20 genres represented. We roll a die to see which genre we're going to play, and then we roll to see who is going to play that game. We roll for the max price they can spend on it. So I rolled a survival game for like...
Which you love.
Which I love.
Your
for like
$40
$40 or less or something. So like any survival game.
Right.
Okay, so first off, I'm going to ask for some grace on this.
You know I'm the king of giving grace. I don't give a shit.
I'm going to ask for a mulligan. Here's why.
Hella mulligans.
I selected my game, and it was Blair Witch. Because it's
Sounds
Halloween,
dope.
right?
Perfect.
So I was like, okay, I'm going to play it. It's my Dice Destiny game. I got it on Xbox Games Pass, sat down, started playing Blair Witch, and I was like, ooh, this is kind of spooky. This is cool. You're a cop. You are investigating a child disappearance in the same woods that the Blair Witch Project happened in like 1994.
Okay.
Right? And it's a first-person game. You're walking around, and you have a dog, which is pretty cool. You've got this dog companion. He's like a German Shepherd, dog companion, and his name's Bullet, and he's super helpful sometimes. And then, so I start playing. I'm like, this is great, walking through the woods, and it's kind of spooky. And then you're finding clues and Bullet sniffing stuff out, and you're like, okay, awesome, sweet. You're just walking around. It's like a walking simulator, and you're just finding stuff. Bullet runs off into the woods, and you're chasing him, and then you lose him. You start to have a panic attack for some reason.
Because you lost your dog.
And then you
I can super relate
and
to
then
that.
you get like it's not because you lost your dog, it's because you have anxiety of some sort.
Oh.
And it starts to play cutscenes back from like your past. Something happened to you. It's very vague at first, right? Something happened to you. You need a dog because your dog's your companion. You're all messed up. Everyone's like, oh, that guy's helping search. Are you going to be okay? You're talking to your girlfriend on the phone, and she's like, should you really be out there? You're a huge a-hole to her. Essentially what it boils down to is you don't really like your character. Like, you kind of get down to it, and you're like, I don't really like this guy.
I hope he gets killed by a witch.
Yeah. Like, come on, witch. Make
Where
it
you
happen.
at, Blair Witch? Woohoo! Like running into dark bushes and stuff.
So you
Get him.
You have a panic attack. You pass out. You come back, and it's middle of the night in this forest. Of course, you've got a walkie-talkie, and you're talking to your team. And they're like, we lost you for hours. Where'd you go? And you're like, I'm going to keep following this trail.
Right.
I found the kid's hat. And you're like, you're in a forest where a bunch of creepy crap happened, and your team's like not even a mile behind you. You're just not going to wait? You're like, I got to go find him before the trail gets cold. Kid's been missing for like 2 weeks. The trail's cold. So anyway, so you're going through this forest, and I'm playing it, and I'm like, this game's not that fun.
Sounds
because
shit.
it's dark in the forest. It's dark,
Right.
and you have your flashlight out, and you can pretty much see wherever your flashlight's shining. And at first, you're like, oh, dude, something's going to happen. Something's going to jump out. I'm going to see something cross my... No. You just end up wandering around the forest in the dark. So many circles. Wandering around in so many circles.
This sucks.
I played this game for probably 3 hours, and I was like, I hate this game. I was not scared, ever, at any point. The best part about the game is the music does a good job
You did
of
3 hours of
invoking
forest circles.
anxiety. Like, I did a couple things, solved a couple puzzles, but like, it just wasn't interesting. They could have done so well, and it was just not interesting. It wasn't
How
scary.
disappointed are you if you're the composer on this game and you make this creepiest music ever?
They
and
did
then-
a good job because it would be silent.
Yeah.
And then, like, all of a sudden you'd hear your heartbeat, and you're like, oh, great, something's going to happen. You just hear,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh, great, here it comes. So you'd start to feel anxiety, but then I realized, like, I'm not feeling fear. I'm just feeling anxious. And so I was like, so I shut it off.
I don't need a game to do that. I'm fucking anxious all the time.
I was at work today. So.
yeah, I'm good on the anxiety thing.
So here's my mulligan.
Just won't take my pills one day.
I don't want to give you guys a crappy review on a game I hated. Just know Blair Witch, even on Games Pass, wasn't really worth my time or effort or download space. So I want to give you a good game. So I did buy on Steam Oxygen Not Included, which is an indie game made by Cly,
Okay.
who makes like Don't Starve.
Right.
It looks like that. It's very similar to what's the other one I just played? Oh, I can see RimWorld. It's very similar to RimWorld, but like it's got a lot of like differences. I'll tell you, it's a very smart game.
And you haven't played it through enough to
I've
give it a
only
review.
played an hour or two.
Okay.
And so I will play this and review this next episode. I'll give you a better review. I took the mulligan because I hated Blair Witch, but I love this genre, so I want to do it service.
I appreciate the mulligan, honestly, because I've been there with a game that you're like, I really have to keep playing this.
I hated it.
What's the point of reporting back? And I know we like to shit on people, mostly game studios, mostly AAA game studios.
I
don't
like
appreciate shitting on
indies. I don't either.
I don't like it. It's not my thing.
If I have a bad indie, I just won't want to review it. But this game, Blair Witch, guys, it's just not worth it.
Don't even.
Even on GameSpot.
Don't even look at it.
You can
Don't even think about it. Forget about it.
Like, it's not interesting. Don't do it.
All right, guys. That does it for us this week. To play us out, we have this song plays when you enter the caves in Noita.
Nice.
This is the theme from Noita. Guys, if you want links to that Reddit thread with the absolute disaster shit show that was WWE 20, make sure to follow us on Twitter and Facebook. We're at 3-Bit Gamer Show. And if you want to support the 3-Bit Gamer Show, you can always find us on Patreon, patreon.com/3BG. I'm JD, logging off.
This is Peterson going AFK.
Peterson Productions. Oh, yeah.
I started to sing the other parts. I started to do the harmonizing. All right, let's fucking do this shit.